going on, guys? So we're talking about episode 2 of Last of Us, and oh my god, it's killer, man. It's stressful because there was a lot of details that should have been in there. You know, story wise was kind of like we could have gotten a little bit more for this character, but you know, it is what it is. Guys, welcome to another week of Last of Us 2, and this time we get a major death in all of the character arcs and everything going on. What I really like is how, you know, now every episode it seems to be that we are getting a little backstory of like the world before the turn, how the world started to be infected and this and that, and you know, to see different places of, you know, where we're at as a society, right? So like the first episode we get kind of like how the cortisol fungus can work, and like really that's really freaking scary that, you know, this scientifically is happening. Like we have that today. The fact that it can evolve into humans and live off of us is theoretically possible. Every day that scares me. Every day. See how, like, okay, you know, we have the explanation, and then now in this one, you know, you have this professor who she's checking out this body, which, by the way, HBO, really? Gonna lay her out there with, like, you know, out, you know? But she's over there, and she sees the thing, she pulls out the little tentacles, and she's like, oh. And so they're talking, and then she's like, you gotta bomb the city, and there's nothing else to do but, you know, let me be with my family. Like, how do you make a decision like that? Like, based off of, yeah, you're studying it your whole life, and you know that there's no cure or vaccine, but her first thought was just bomb them. Bomb them. We pick up where we left off in the last episode, where we find out that Ellie's, you know, infected, you know, and so she's like, look, yeah, it's only a week old, and, you know, everybody turns within 2 days, and this and that. And as they're walking, she starts asking questions, like, how many, you know, infected have you killed? And they're like, oh, that's it. You know, enough questions, like, you're asking too much. And then she wants to know about Joel, and he's like, no questions about me because I have a backstory. But then she starts asking about, like, what kind of infected are they, right? So, like, she's asking about the bloaters. You remember those, right? Where they're, like, the big old things, and they pop and, like, throw spores at you, and you're running away, and, you know, you're wondering why you're crying at, like, 2 in the afternoon playing Last of Us on a PS3, and, you know, wait, that's an old memory. And she starts asking about, like, the echolocation ones, you know, where they got the face splitting up, and they're, like, bats, and this and that, and, like, you know, I was like, oh, we're gonna see a clicker. We're gonna see the clickers. We're gonna hear them, and they're voiced by the same people in the games, which, chef's kiss. It's great. And so, you know, the sense of horror aspect that they bring to the show, like when they were going into the museum, it was like, oh, are we gonna see something? You know, are we gonna, is something gonna pop out at us? You know, is there gonna be any jump scares? Like, that's what I was waiting for. But the fact that Joe kind of foreshadows it, and he was like, oh, if you step on one over the million others somewhere else, like the fact that they're connected as one hive mind is, I think, is a great addition to the show. I can't remember if that's in the video game as well, but what I really like is how, you know, when we see the clicker, like that sense of, like, you know, they're hiding, and you know how, like, when you're hiding in the game, and like you can use Joel's sound ability, and you can, like, kind of see around you, like, where they're at. Like, they kind of give that when it's the clicker's in the window, and there's like a small little white aura around it. Like, that's kind of like I thought it was a fun little Easter egg to see that. But then, like, when you turn around, it's like right there in their face, and they're fighting and everything. It felt like, you know, an actual scene from the video game, which I thought was great. But you know, going from that fight and then going over, like, as soon as Tess was like, oh, you know, we got to get out of here and this and that, she was kind of being real weird, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get a death? Are we gonna end her story here?
My fellow Americans, I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end.
And we did, because why not, right? I mean, she could have had a little, like, maybe one more episode with Tess, giving a little bit more backstory and stuff like that. But I think, you know, if you gave her too much, then you're kind of just dragging things on. But at the same time, she was really annoying me. But I think it was a little too early to kill her off. But the way she did it, visually amazing from the game, because she was like, oops, right? Ooh, I got bit. I can't go home. And she was like, oh, she's bit. She's infected. When they kill that one clicker and the whole horde starts coming, I was like, whoa, here we go. She starts, like, laying out all the gasoline and stuff. She's like, I'm gonna hold him off. I was like, this is the part of the game. I mean, I've seen this before, but to see it in real life, oh man. But what really stuck out was, you know, she's starting to slowly change, right? She's starting to slowly change, and like when they start running in, they run past her, and I was like, so they don't notice that? And then like one turns around, it's like, what's up, girl? So the clicker comes up to her, and then like they just kind of like, you know, start kind of going at it, like makes out with her, and like you see the tentacles just kind of go into her mouth, and she's like, "Ugh." I was like, dude, I was eating wings, and I was like, "Bleh." I was like, ah, man, come on, you know, that's so gross. But then like, you know, they run out, and then you see the explosion. I was like, she sacrificed herself, like she's still. The fact that the creator's still committed to the game scenes, which is what I'm loving about this. I'm loving it. You know, that we're gonna cry when we played the games, and like the fact that we're crying for seeing it in real life. It's just really, we gotta hurt ourselves again. It's 2013 all over again. But you know, overall, I want to give this, you know, it's still early in the series, but I know that the series itself is going to be great. It's going to be very emotionally heavy if you've played the game, and if you haven't, that's okay. Like I said, you're not that you're not missing much, but it's that emotional tie that we have. But like Troy Baker said in some of the promos, like, you're going to cry a lot. And 2 episodes in, I'm already you know, and I'm really having it out. But, you know, I'm excited for what the series is going to go. And the intro animation, I forgot to talk about that last, you know, on the last review. The intro animation, you know, how you have like the cortisone thing, and, you know, you're kind of really seeing like everything about it. And, you know, it was just, I thought it was great because you see like, you know, Joe and Ellie, and then like you see the mouth of a clicker, and like just HBO always kills it with their intros. Kills it every time. And then the music, it's always like a great space of where they place the music and the scenes and stuff. I give this one maybe like a 9 out of 10, you know, I want to say, but I'm excited to see what's next week. Leave me your thoughts, guys. Do we still like this movie? Do we still like the show? We did have a rise in viewers, about 22% more on the second episode, which is the highest HBO has ever seen in a show. Usually the first episode's like big killer, and then by second, people are like, all right. But it seems to be, as this show is getting more and more talked about, you know, we're getting a rise in viewers. Come join the nerds. Come join the video game players. If you have a PS5 or PS anything Sony that you can play it on, play the game. Enjoy it. If you get the remastered and you want to pay for the 2 different parts of Part 1, that's on you. But remember, PlayStation Plus member, you got all of Part 1 right there on your PlayStation Plus Premium, or, you know, extra, whatever you want to pay. It's part of the collection package. Play it. You'll love it. Take it slow, though. Don't try to rush through it. My 2 cents. But yeah, guys, we'll see you guys next week.